Saloon bar of the Susie's Arms.
Oh, I wish it was called that.
What is our drink of the day, by the way?
Going with a nice crisp glass of rosé, I think, today. I had a lovely one called Mayo, which was from France. And it was a Grenache, a Cinsault and a Mourvedre blend, which was very delicious.
125ml or 250?
Always 250.
Always 250. Very good. How much will that cost me?
I don't know, actually.
Free! It's on the
I'll
house,
put it on my
everybody.
tab.
It's on the house. Right. Very good. Okay, so today's tale, last of the week, comes from DJ Saucy Boy, known as King of the Nightclubs.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
I know. Father Simon in the Ecclesiastical Collective. I recently heard a holiday confession, so decided it was time for myself to confess to an incident I inadvertently played a part in back in 1989. Though personally I never really got to enjoy a lad's holiday, as I was always far too busy working. Yes, 1989, at the age of just 20, when my school friends were going abroad for their rites of passage holiday. Instead, I settled into my first of several seasons, enjoying the sun, sea and sand, and some superb music, because I was a DJ in a particular holiday hotspot at the southern end of Corfu. Hence my name, DJ Saucy Boy, King of the Nightclubs. Back then, the emerging resort was somewhat smaller than it is now, and pretty much half of it, the accommodation, bars and restaurants, were all owned by two Greek brothers. Let's call them Adonis and Achilles. They also owned the Flash nightclub, where I was one of the two resident DJs alongside my DJ friend Brian.
Without a name. Yeah.
Bear in mind, this was decades before the internet or smartphones allowing people to fact-check anything. I mean, at this time, we were still working with vinyl. I have to say, being a DJ, it was a tough job, but someone had to do it. Along the strip, the brothers ran 9 bars. Each one had a DJ. Though we mostly lost touch over the years, some of us have reconnected over the years through social media. Now, I personally dislike using words like crazy, zany or bonkers, but there was one DJ amongst us who could only be described as a colossal combination of crazy, zany and bonkers, a larger-than-life character we'll call Gary. So here's what we and all of us who played a part in this unexpected and unplanned event wish to seek forgiveness for. As Flash, the nightclub, didn't open until 11 p.m, Brian and myself would pop into the various bars along the strip until one of us would go and do the first lonely hour until the club started to fill up. So there was Brian and myself mid-season enjoying a pre-work drink in Manhattan's when we heard Gary say over the microphone, "Don't forget, Greek summertime ends tonight, and you must put your watch back by an hour. That's Greek summertime ending tonight." Brian worked for the Sweeney.
Yeah, he did.
The way Gary delivered the line was so believable, so matter-of-fact, I nearly spat my ouzo out. Then he repeated it a few minutes later, and then again. Now, I'm not quite sure how this next bit took on a life of its own and happened so fast, but it did. Possibly because I mentioned Gary's made-up public service announcement to every DJ along the strip, and each then also heard this valuable and essential information in their own bars, the news that the Greek summertime was ending tonight and clocks had to go back by an hour, and it all spread across the resort like the proverbial Greek wildfire. I can't recall for certain, but perhaps Brian and myself also mentioned it a couple of times as we hit the tracks. I think there was Technotronic, 10 City and Double Trouble and Rebel MC.
Oh, yeah.
And then in between us saying, "Don't forget, Greek summertime ends tonight." Anyway, by the end of the last record and the club closing, the message was well and truly out there across the whole of the resort. Except that, of course, the clocks did not need changing. There was no such thing as the clocks going back for Greek summertime when we were saying it. So here's what we seek redemption for. Given that we didn't really do mornings, none of us were around to actually witness firsthand what actually happened the next day, but we certainly heard about it. Yes, we heard about the holiday reps banging and battering on hungover clients' doors, shouting, "Your transfer coach is waiting," to be met with partially conscious replies, not quite as polite as, "Could you go away, please? You're an hour early." Or, "If you're not outside in 5 minutes, the excursion tour, which you've paid handsomely for, will be leaving without you." The response being quite fruity, but basically saying, "You're an hour wrong." Yes, inadvertently, we had managed to set a large amount of the resort back by an hour, and this time was... The whole place was... I'm just changing it. The whole place was in chaos. Even some people who had booked bed and breakfast arrived an hour late for their coffee and croissants to find they'd stopped serving. We suppose the collection of 1989 DJs should seek forgiveness from all the Tommy tourists, as we called them. Hilarious.
Tommy tourists.
Who were affected and had to quickly comply with the requests of the stressed out holiday reps. Though it wasn't just us. As the resort is the furthest south from the airport, therefore the first transfer pickup, there was also a knock-on effect with coaches running late across the island. Were flights missed? Yes, I'm afraid to say that they were. To all those inconvenienced, on behalf of all the DJs involved, I seek forgiveness. Adonis and Achilles, who received so many complaints from the several tour operators, asked us never to do it again. As for seeking forgiveness for the hassle we caused the holiday reps, no, not really. You see, they always thought that they had the upper hand and they were the most important people in the resort. Yeah. But we the DJs, we showed them who was in charge because we were in charge. Anyway, nice fade.
Yeah,
and
I thought so.
You can tell that Anyway, DJ Saucy Boy, known as King of the Nightclubs. Interesting DJ confession. What do you say, Sister Susie, the voice of responsibility?
Well, I'm shaking my head here, DJ Saucy Boy. It could just caused absolute bedlam. And what for? Just so you could get the upper hand on the other guys? No, it's not good enough. You were drinking ouzo, which I don't like. You called them Tommy tourists. People miss flights. You mess with a lot of lives.
Yes.
No, not forgiven. It wasn't funny.
Harsh words, but I think fair words.
I mean, there's another side to that coin. I mean, this is clearly how urban myth spread, isn't it? With so many people believing what the DJ is telling me. Am I alone in thinking that maybe Tommy Tourist should have been checking his watch and double checking whether there was such a thing as the clocks going back that night? I think really Tommy Tourist should have been sorting it out.
Your watch doesn't tell you.
Well, your watch does. No, your watch tells you the time. That's the whole point of watches, and that's what I understand is happening here. But given that they were playing black box, clearly those tourists were right on time. Oh yes. So
well, no, they weren't. They were late.
That reason doesn't matter, Sue. Don't let it get in the way. I choose to forgive.
Okay.
Oh, it doesn't work.
Yes, it definitely works. Very